everyone on Facebook as Facebook Live as well as on Periscope. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Kayl May. I am customer service coach, leadership coach, motivational speaker, radio talk show host, and also a mentor, which are all the things that I'm passionate about. But today I'm coming on talking to you about a radio show that we have every second Sunday. The name of it is Success Radio. It's on instinctradio.net. This, it is so important. Let me just say this first. It is so important to use your platforms for positive things, right? To help change things, to give information to the community. That is so important when you're a radio talk show host or any kind of host, or anytime you have a platform, to use it for good and to better our environment, to better America, I would say. So I want to come on a little bit and give a little bit of information. Hi, Fran. Thank you for joining again. I wanted to give a little bit information about our radio show and just talk about it just a little bit, because if you know anyone that does the things that we're talking about, I want to make sure that we give you my email address so that you can email their information to us, or you can pass it over to them to see if they're interested in joining our platform. But it's going to be on August the 14th from 7 to 9 Eastern Standard Time. And again, the name of our show is Success Radio, but it's through instinctradio.net. Now, you can call in on the radio show. You can text in on the radio show, but you can also, if you're in the area, you can appear on live. And that's what I really want some people to do. Now, this is a sticky subject to talk about, but it's something that we really need to talk about, because we really all need to come together as one. That's the only thing that's going to make America great and keep America great. I'm not going to say make America great again. America is already great. We have so many things that other, countries do not have. So just to make sure that we keep it a great America that it already is now. So what we're going to be talking about is stop the violence. How do we rebuild the trust and desolate our differences? How can this be done in a positive way? So we've asked a lot of different people to come on our show. We're going to, when you're dealing with politics, you have to make sure, when you're dealing with a subject like this, you have to get so many confirmations and you have to send emails up. And sometimes it takes weeks before we actually get a confirmation saying that, yes, they can be on the show. And, they give us the guidelines of what we can ask them and things like that. Because we want to make sure we keep this positive. This is not a show where we want people calling in and they're fussing and they're irritated. We're trying to come up with a plan. We want to have an action plan. Once we leave that show that night on August the 14th, we want to have a plan of what we're going to do positive to help us come together as one, because that's what it's all about, right? Because if we don't ever come together as one, it's never going to be a great America. It's going to stop being a great America, right? Hey, Phyllis, thank you so much for joining me. So that's what I wanted to talk about, but we have asked the mayor of Atlanta to join us. We have asked a representative from the NAACP to join us. We have asked Atlanta police officer to join us. We have asked a minister to join us, because we want to get the viewpoint from all different aspects, right? Not just from one or two people. And we want it to come from both sides. Excuse me. Because if it's one-sided, then, and that's something Nina was very passionate about, if it's from one side, it's one-sided, right? I can't tell the Caucasians, what they need to do, and they can't tell me what I need to do, but together we can make a plan up of what we can do together. We can hear both sides from things. But again, we want to keep everything very positive. So if you know anyone that's doing this type of work now, doing some type of, have some type of group that's getting out there and trying to make changes in this world in a positive way, give them my email address. It's bottomlinesecret, BOTT OMLINESECRET Give them my email address if they're interested in coming on the show, if they're interested in calling the show. If you know a person, a single person, an officer that's willing to do this, because we've had to send emails for several officers because they have to get permission. The mayor has to have permission before, approve it before they will come on a talk show. They want to know the question that you're going to be asking. Who are the other people that are going to be on there? And sometimes you can't tell them that because everyone is taking so long to confirm, right? So we want to make sure that we use our platform for something positive. So if you know someone who's doing something positive, it doesn't matter what state they're in. Give them my email address so they can email me, and I don't mind following up with them. And if I have to send emails to them to try to get approval or permission or whatever it is, I don't have a problem with that. I'll be willing to do that. But we want to use our platform to make a difference. Last month, we used our platform to talk about our military personnel, the things that they're going to, and we just, wanted to show them and tell them that we appreciate them. These are the things that we want to do. Next August, we're going to be talking about Stop the Violence. In September, we're going to dedicate it to our school teachers, right? Because they take care of our future, right? They're not raising our future, but they are training our children, and they're making sure they get educated. And our children are our future. So we want to make sure that we're using our platform for something positive. So Stop the Violence. How can we come together as one? And how can we do this in a positive way? That's what I want people to come on. And if you don't want to join in, call in, you can send your text in, but you can also just listen in and get hopefully some good information so that you will know things to do. Because again, once we leave there on August the 14th after 9 p.m., we want to leave away with an action plan. What things can we go do in a positive way to help bring us all together? So again, give them my email address. If you know anyone that has an organization that's doing this type work, or an individual that you know that's doing this type work, give them my email address, bottomlinesecret@yahoo.com. You can always, if you're on Periscope, you can click on my link on my profile. It'll send you to my my website. You can go to the contact page there. If you're on Facebook, you can send me a direct message. If you didn't get the email, I will also on Facebook put my email address in the comments as well, so that you will have that information. So if you know anyone that's doing that type of work to stop the violence, to bring everyone together in a positive way, I would love to speak to that person and see can they call us. I have posted the same information on every social media that I utilize, because I want to get as many. It's only 2 hours, but this is a very passionate subject that we're going to be talking about. So we want to have as many people possible to call in, to text in. If they can't, if the line is busy when they're trying to call in, don't give up. Send a text in, because we want high speed. Thank you so much for joining. We want to make sure that we talk to as many people as possible. If you have something positive to say, we want to make sure we say that on the air. If you can come in live, we want to make sure we have you there live. But we also want to make sure that you understand this is all about being positive. This is not somewhere where we're going to be arguing with both sides and trying to talk about all the other things. We just want to come together in a positive way and see what we can do and give you an action plan on things that you can do. I have 2 sons who are 22 and 25. I want them to know some positive things that they can go out in the world to do. Me, what I do is mentorship. Are you developing a show? I'm a radio talk show host on Success Radio. You can go to instinctradio.net. And what I'm talking about is, I'm explaining to someone on Periscope who just joined. What I'm talking about is our show that's on August the 14th. We're going to be talking about Stop the Violence and how we can come together as one and how we can do this in a positive way. So you can always go to instinctradio.net to get that information. But if you know anyone who is doing doing this type work, a group that's doing this type work, or an individual that's doing this type work, give them my email address so that we can have them, either if they're in the Georgia area, have them live on the show. If not, they can call in, and they can also text in as well, because we just want as much input as possible. Then we want to walk away with a plan. What are we going to do once we use this platform to get this information out? What are we going to do in order to, what are we going to do in order to have us to come together? Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you for joining. And that's another thing. If you don't want to call in, if you don't want to text in, listen and find out what it is you can do. Because we're going to have that. We're going to talk. We're going to take that last little 5 minutes. Instead of reintroducing ourselves, we're going to take those 5 minutes and get a plan up really quickly and say, these are the things that we discuss, and these are the things that we can do to come together in a positive way. And I want to make sure that we make some kind of flyer up with that, and we go out and pass those flyers out to different people so they'll know what we can do to come together positive. And we haven't, people from all walks of life coming in. Again, we're asking the mayor to come in. I've sent information to a councilman to jump on and talk to us about it. I've talked to and the police officer is really willing to come on, but of course they have to have permission. But I have a police officer who's been on the force for over 30 years. I will have him to come on to talk about it if it gets approved. Having a minister having a young man to come on. I just reached out to him tonight. I really want him to come on and kind of talk to the young kids about things to do. But what I do is I like to mentor people. I think we need that mentorship in order to help our young people out. Not only our young people who are working and things like that and having family, but starting at the teenage. This is my first time doing that mentorship with 6 teenagers from 14 to 18. So, we all have to get out and do something. What can we do? And they all come from different walks of life, and they're all, different races. And, that's something that I love doing, and I'm very passionate about doing. Hi, so grateful. Thank you so much for joining on Periscope. So, we all have to find some way that we can work and do it. I know we live such busy lives, and, we have so much to do with our families, and we have so much because we work and stuff. My part is to help improve financial literacy and operating businesses. That's great as well. I was just talking about, hi, whatever, 84, thank you for joining. I did a Facebook post today where I'm keeping my little 4-year-old cousin for a couple of months. And my husband was picking with him this afternoon after our twin grandsons went home. He was like, Corey, the next time you see them, that you'll probably be 8 years old and they'll be 4 years old, because they're only 1 and he's 4 now. He was like, by then you have to get you a job, just messing with him. And he was like, I'm going to have my own company. I'm going to be a boss and a leader. I was like, he does listen. He's only been here for a little bit over a month, and he's listening. When I talk about leadership, I do shows on leadership. Many people need something constructive to do other than being in the streets exactly. And and a lot of people, and I know this is stuff that we're going to talk about on the show, but I know a lot of people think when they're young kids, but anyhow, my little cousin, I was so proud of him for saying that. But I know a lot of people think when they're children they're always watching, because I'm doing my videos and things, and I have never heard him talk about leadership before. And when he said boss, he said own his own company first. He said boss, and he said leadership. And I remember my youngest son, we was going to catch air the other day, and my youngest son told him when he go to college, don't go to college to work for someone else. Go to college to have his own business. This was just the other day, and he caught on to that, and he grabbed hold to it. And I was like, wow. My niece told me she was going to publish a book like me. See, that's what I'm talking about. We have to do things. That's why I'm so passionate about what I do, because we have to do things for those kids. Yes, they keep us driven. And when he was saying things like this, and he talked about when he stayed with me when he was 2 years old, and he remembered this stuff, I was like, oh, wow, that's amazing. But getting back on subject, we have we have young people. When our children get 18 and over, of course they know more than we know. Even though we're twice their age, they always know more than what we know. But you can't give up on your children. You can't say, they're grown and they have to learn their lessons and all this kind of stuff. You still have to be there to coerce them and to guide them. I remind my sons all the time that, yes, I've already raised you, but it's still my responsibility to guide you. I was 44 when my mother passed away 2.5 years ago. And the night before she passed, she was still giving me lessons. She was still telling me what to do. She was still guiding me because I had just had a car wreck. This was hours before her death. So you just have to remember, we have to always be there for our children. We cannot allow to say we have done our work. And I know we're tired after 18 years. I know. I've raised 2 of them. But we still have to be there for them. No matter what they decide to do in life, we have to be there for them, and we have to be there to guide them. They need us. And I think that's happening a lot where, that's the age group that's getting into a lot of trouble. And you're saying, why? Where are the parents? And I'm not saying I blame the parents for everything a child does, because I was raised in a neighborhood that a lot of the families and stuff was well off, and they worked hard and they taught their kids the values of life, and most of them took us to church all the time. And I know some of the people from the neighborhood who still went to jail, who still sold drugs, and somebody killed somebody, and all of these things that happen. So I'm not blaming the parents, but I'm just saying we have to be there for them. We have to be there for our children, no matter what age they are, no matter if they do not want to listen to us or not. When I did my post yesterday, because I did a video about what word, phrases, or quotes that I use the most, when my oldest son came to pick up his son tonight, picked up his twins tonight, I asked him, I said, do you remember the quote that I used the most, the quote or phrase or a word that I used the most? He was like, when we was growing up. I was like, no, anytime in your life. What he said was the first thing on my list yesterday. It only takes a split second to make a life-changing decision. We have to continue to talk to our children. I've been telling them that since elementary school. I still tell them that today so they can remember. I tell them the same thing that I told them at 5 and 6 when they're now 22 and 25, because it only takes a split second. These are the things that we want to talk about. What can we do to bring us together positively, right? So that's all included in that, because we got to have the respect, and I talked about that yesterday as well. We have to teach our children to respect everyone, no matter what race they are, no matter what income status they have, no matter what job status they have, no matter, what they're doing, what education they have. And I know all of those things separate us, and they shouldn't separate us. They really shouldn't. I was raised where, and I talked about this yesterday as well, where I'm no better than no one else, but no one else is any better than me. So just the same way I can talk to that homeless person on the street, I can talk to President Obama. It doesn't matter to me. Of course, you may use a few different words. You may say things a little bit differently, but I can still talk to both of them, because I don't feel like that homeless man is any better than me, because any day now, I can be homeless. I never thought I would had not be working in corporate right now, a job that I truly love. Didn't ever want to be an entrepreneur. But I got into a car wreck that changed my entire life. So I had no choice, because I couldn't go back to work. So things happen, and I could be that homeless man at any time. So why would I treat him any different? Because if I ever got into that situation, I wouldn't want anyone to treat me any differently. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not going to ever say I'm going to be president, because I'm not political in that sense, but I can be whatever I want to be, but any day I can lose it now. So that's why you have to be able to respect everyone and not anyone disrespect you. Show them how to respect you, because they're no better than you and you're no better than them. We have to keep that in mind. So what can we do? What other things can we do to come together positive? What other things can we do? So if you know anyone who is doing that type work, again, if you know anyone who's doing that type work or any group that's doing that type of work in the community, if they live in the Georgia area, they can come on live on the show at Success Radio at instinct.net. If they are somewhere outside of Atlanta or outside of Georgia, they can call in or they can text in. But we'll be willing to talk to them. They can send me an email at bottomlinesecret@yahoo.com, and I would love to follow up with them and hear what they have to say. But if you're anyone that's watching now, if you the replay of either one, Periscope or of Facebook Live, and you don't want to come on the show, or you don't want to text in any information, or you don't want to respond or make a comment about anything, please listen, because we're going to walk away with an action plan of what each one of us can do to make this world a better place. It's a great America right now, but we can all make it a lot better once we come together. That's the only way it's going to get better, with all of us being together. That's it. Thank you so much for watching me. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to receiving the emails or the direct messages on Facebook. Again, if you forget to, thank you so much. Again, if you forget the email address on Periscope, you can always click on my profile. My website is on there, but I'm not trying to get you to go to my website only to get information. Now, you can read anything you want to read, but it's to get the contact information, if you forget the bottom line secret at yahoo.com. So I look forward to seeing the emails. I look forward to seeing you as viewers on our show. Again, my name is Kayl May. I am the customer service and leadership coach. I am a motivational speaker. I am a radio talk show host. I am an author after tonight. And those are the things that I do. The name of my company is Bottom Line Secret, but the name of the radio show is Success Radio. You can go to instinctradio.net. That's INSTINCT. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, So. INSTINCT radio, RADIO.net. And listen to us live from there. It is not only an audible radio show, but it's also a visual radio show as well. So you'll be able to see us. And 9 times out of 10, probably 100% of the time, I do a Facebook Live from there, and sometimes I do a Periscope from there, but I always have done a Facebook Live from there. It's just according to how the reception is on which device that I'm using. So again, thank you so much for joining me. I know it's late. It's 1:41 here in Georgia, and I am extremely tired, and I'm already country. My words just tie in together. So I do not take it lightly that y'all have taken time out of your night to join me and listen to this, and I really want you to take hold of it, and I really want to see you on August the 14th. I'll try to do another Periscope and Facebook Live closer to that date to remind everyone of it. Thank you all again, and have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.